So episode 3 came out of the gates swinging. This is a massive bridge episode that takes everything we learned about the first 2 episodes and leaves us with a cliffhanger ending, which I'm totally going to spoil in this review. So if you don't want things spoiled, yeah, go watch the episode, come back later, because I don't do spoiler free. This is a phenomenal episode, cliffhanger ending. You've had your spoiler warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's dive in. So this is the one where everyone starts questioning the chief's sanity because his story is not matching up with anything. And when we left off in the previous episode, he had led Silver Team on this unauthorized mission and didn't tell them that it was an unauthorized mission. And it basically wreaks havoc amongst the team because once they get to the planet, once they get to Reach, and they're there on Reach and they're investigating. This is when basically the soldiers show up from their own organization and tell them to stand down or they're going to open fire. And there's this huge breakdown in communications between Master Chief and his team because they realize that he tricked them into coming here, and so it ruins the trust. So we've got a fractured team now where we've got the broken warrior Spartan going off and hanging out with her therapist, who's also, the medic kind of guy, who's helping her work through her mental issues. And then you've got the blonde soldier who basically goes to the boss and says, "Hey, boss, how are we gonna do with this? Tell me how to proceed." And then you've got the big guy who likes his animals, and he's trying to figure out what to deal with. And then we've got John needing to go do a psych evaluation. In the middle of all of this is this complex. Um, we understand that the main bad guy, the new boss, is a complex character because he has a dad who's in the hospital suffering for dementia, and we pick up off on where we left the story in the last episode where he was talking about how he knows what's coming. There's no there's he's talking to Cortana in that instance, um, and there's no way around what's coming. So the course of this episode is everybody sort of finding out that they knew that he was telling the truth, but they hid that from everybody at the top, hid it from everybody, including the Admiral. The Admiral didn't know because there's this part where um, they do end up going and finding the bodies of the missing Spartan team, and the Admiral finds out that he was lied to by the new head of the Oni, and he just basically tells the guy to get bent. Like, I'm not going to work with you, because he tells him this sob story about how no one's gonna, like, this is literally, we're gonna fight, but we're not gonna win. We're gonna lose Reach. We have to do the winter contingency, and this is a nudge, nudge, wink, wink to the fans of the gaming franchise. Now, if you've never played the games, that's not going to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything, but it's a nice Easter egg for fans. The fact that this is Reach, this is the winter contingency, this is, that attack. And this is basically they're going to lose Reach. The planet is going to be lost. The Covenant's already here, as they come to realize, and um, it's just a lost cause where this head he's heading out into space, and he's like, we're going to lose the planet. I'm going to save what I can, but all of our resources are being transported off, and we are preparing to fight. We're going to lose this battle, but we're in it for the long haul. And the Admiral is basically like, fuck you, because he realizes that he was put on psych leave and everything else falsely. He breaks out and he's on the run right now as of the end of this episode. And so the Admiral knows that they covered this up, that he actually was telling the truth. I don't know that the rest of his crew knows yet, but one of the things we get towards the end of this episode, that cliffhanger ending, was the fact that John breaks out as he's going up to his psych evaluation, and he goes and tracks down the lieutenant, I think is who she was. And it's driving me nuts where I've seen that actress before. I'm gonna go look it up so that I know. I don't do show notes for those of you who've been around for a while. I just kind of ramble off the cuff. I watched the episode at like 3 o'clock this morning. I went to sleep for a couple hours, got up, and I'm recording my review now. But I know I've seen her. She's a Latina actress, and I've seen her in something. I wanted to say Altered Carbon, but it wasn't her. It was a different Mexican actress who actually is from the city where I am near. Anyway, He goes to visit her, and she's in church and she's praying, and she's been obsessing over this audio file that she's been listening to from that attack that she survived. And underneath it all, she realizes she can make out the voice of one of the Covenant. And there's this moment where she and John are bonding over this vision of the woman in the mists, and it turns out that even though, she had been shot by, why am I blanking on the blonde-haired Spartan warrior? Kay? I don't remember names very well. She thought that she had shot. John thought she was dead, but it turns out that crazy lady is with the Covenant is still alive, which we got a teaser of in the premiere episodes. So this lieutenant saw her in the mists as well, and so her and Master Chief had this bonding moment of that. And then she tells him that she can't sleep. She's been obsessing over this audio file, and she has finally made out what's going on underneath all of this discussion, this chanting by this warrior of the Covenant. And basically, what it is, I don't remember the word for words here, but I'll paraphrase. It's a death chant. It is we are going to kamikaze your planet. We are coming. We are going to just throw ourselves upon it. It's going to be, I believe the wording was like, this is going to be the altar of sacrifice as we burn this planet to ashes and prepare for this new awakening for our people. So the Covenant are here not to necessarily conquer, they're here to dominate on their way to the Great Star Ring. And that's one of the things, if you think back about one of the things I loved about the early games, obviously there was the Flood, but the Covenant were always a legit scary threat. But they had reason for what they were doing. It was a religious reason. They were on this religious quest for their people. And that's something that's coming through very, very well in this show so far. I'm really liking where they're going with this. Now, underneath all of this is the subplot with, is it Soren, the ex Spartan who's got the messed up hand, who is the pirate king dude. He got arrested, and then his wife and their son and the girl who was like she was the only survivor of the planet that got destroyed in the first season, who came with him from her planet. She's there, and she basically is helping the wife and the son escape, or at least they attempt to. And in the course of this, the kid ends up on a shuttle all by himself, and the wife gets kidnapped on her husband's ship. She's there with the crew that's taken over and just mutinied. And the protector girl, the princess essentially is what she is. The princess shows up and basically takes out most, if not all, of the ship to rescue the pirate queen's wife, and that's sort of where we leave that storyline. I do not know how that storyline is going to connect into everything else yet. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload, or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Like, the Spartan storyline is easy to slot in because it's on Reach. It's the Winter Contingency. We know the Covenant's here, and that's essentially where we get the episode ending. Is Master Chief in the church with the girl, confirming that the Covenant are here to just take everything out. And then there's a big explosion outside, and the windows come crashing into the church, and we get a fade to black. And it was like, oh, you bastards! What a cliffhanger of an episode. So for me, this is a great episode. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. The reason I docked a few points is because I loved all of this episode, except there was a little bit of over the top, I felt, acting and writing going on, in how much we're forcing the Master Chief in the early parts of this episode to feel like he's losing his nuts, like he's just completely losing his marbles. Like, no one believes him. His Spartan team is like, you lied to us, and especially his. Why am I blanking on her name? It'll come to me after I finish recording this episode. The blonde Spartan, she's feeling betrayed because she thought, that they had a bond of friendship and trust, and then he yells at her like, "Don't question me, petty officer," and she's just like, "Oh wow, so that's all I am to you, is another unit." So they really pushed that angle of him feeling, and again, I get why they did it. He's feeling frustrated. He's got all these pent up emotions, and no one's listening to him, even though he knows he's right. But they're painting him as a liar because, the chiefs have, the heads of the organization have changed the flight plans to make it look like um, the other Cobalt team never went to the planet, and they're just making him look like a liar. And so he's questioning his own sanity in all of this. So when they actually do attack, I have a feeling that the next episode, where is going to be the vindication episode, where everybody's going to be like, "Oh my God, Master Chief, we're so sorry. We believe you now." And in the midst of all of this is going to be the realization that their own organization, the ONU, is just is corrupt, and is not really there to save humanity. They're to save their own skins and the higher ups. So I'm really interested to see where the rest of this season pans out, because it's definitely giving us a different take than the first season, and I'm kind of curious where this is all going to go. Oh, and also towards the end of the episode, we see ex-Spartan dude Soren, I think is his name. He gets put in the same jail cell with the doctor that he's been looking for. So Dr. Halsey, and I don't know how that's going to pan out. So um, remains to be seen. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of sort of closure to a couple of threads, but opening up new story threads. Can't wait to see where the rest of this season goes. Love this episode. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from me on this. I do other reviews on shows and TVs series, so make sure to check those out. I play a lot of video games. Check out the playlists, daily streams here and on Twitch, and I'll see everybody in the next one or in the Discord. And don't forget, you can get a copy of my latest fantasy novel. Links are down below. See you next time, everybody.